Every year, I publish my annual guide on how to cut the cord from cable TV. My advice has been featured in MarketWatch, the PBS website, nextavenue.org, Forbes.com, and newspapers around the country. Today, I'm giving you my best tips so you can become your own cord cutting expert. Instead of just talking about streaming, I'm covering TV antennas, paying less for internet, and ways you can legally watch live TV and movies without paying a dime. Hey, I'm Jim Kimball, editor of CordCuttingReport.com, and welcome back to the channel. If you like hands-on reviews or videos like this one, then I hope you'll click the like and subscribe button and help me grow this channel. I'm gonna keep this simple, so let's do this in 5 steps. Before you cancel cable, get a pad and pen and make a list of the live TV channels you want. I recommend doing this with family, loved ones, or anyone you share a household and a television with. This is going to help you identify what live TV channels are truly important to you and answer the question of whether you need live TV at all. Once you have that list in your hand, it's time to shop around. There are about a half dozen larger players that carry live TV channels such as ESPN, History, and HGTV, and these are all channels that used to be exclusive to cable TV and satellite packages. Most of these live TV services offer a free 7-day trial. I generally recommend trying out the lower priced options first and setting a reminder on your smartphone in case you want to cancel before the trial ends so you don't get billed. There is no one live TV service that's better than another. It all really comes down to your own personal needs. When my parents were ready to finally break up with cable, I hooked them up with a YouTube TV subscription and a Roku because they wanted to watch local channels, the New England Patriots, and my mom loves some British TV shows on PBS. Another friend of mine went with Fubo TV because he needed to have Nessun to watch his Red Sox games. You might realize after you make your channel list that you don't need live TV at all. An inexpensive Hulu subscription has next-day broadcasts of new TV shows from channels such as NBC and Fox. Having access to live TV isn't as important as it used to be. So you should take a hard look at the live TV channels that you actually watch day to day versus ones that you think you'd just like to have. Next step, let's pick some streaming services. If you want to keep your TV watching diet on the lean side, there's plenty to feast on without having to pay anything. When you're starting out, you really want to explore all the free ad-supported streaming services because even those services alone may give you more to watch than you have time for. Pluto TV is a great starting point. There's over 200 live TV channels. There's movie channels that are designated by genre, including action, thrillers, horror movies, comedies, and dramas. There's an on-demand section with thousands of movies that are constantly rotating in new titles. The Roku channel is also great, even if you don't have a Roku. It comes installed in all Roku devices, but you can also add the Roku channel to Amazon Fire TV, Samsung Smart TVs, tablets, and smartphones. It has more than 40,000 titles of movies and TV shows and 200 live channels that includes weather and news. There's some other well-established free streaming services worth checking out, such as Tubi and NewsOn, which focuses on local newscasts. These free services are a great way to get used to operating in this new app-based world of watching television. You might already be using Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Disney Plus. I'm just giving you a few free options here to get you going. Once you start using and enjoying these free streaming services, it's really going to build up your streaming chops and you're going to be able to get the most out of your smart TV or Roku or whatever hardware you're using. Remember, cutting the cord isn't just about saving money these days. We're in this new golden age of television that has lots of exclusive series, documentaries, and movies. Let's talk about streaming devices and smart TVs. If you're using a smart TV that's 5 years old or less, it's a good idea to open up your settings and make sure your software is up to date. Then you can see if you can use apps for Netflix and other streaming services that you're interested in. Many of the new smart TVs that are coming out today are really geared for streaming. I just bought a new TV, the Sony Bravia A80J, which runs on Google TV, and that has everything I need for streaming and watching over-the-air channels. If you do need a streaming device, there's 3 big names that I recommend: Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Google Chromecast. I've covered this in depth in another video. My favorite streaming device this year has been the Google Chromecast, but I think for a lot of people starting out, the Roku Express 4K Plus is a great, simple way to jump into cord cutting. I also like the new Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K Max, which I recently tested. The bottom line with streaming devices is that you don't always have to buy a streaming device that offers the highest resolution or the biggest perks. If you're using a 1080p TV, obviously you don't need a 4K streaming device. So save your money for those bigger purchases down the road. So let's have some real talk about TV antennas. If you pick the right TV antenna, you can get local channels such as ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, and a number of others for free. Using a TV antenna and an inexpensive streaming service for channels such as ESPN can save you hundreds of dollars a year compared to cable or satellite service. There are a number of over-the-air DVRs that I've reviewed that you can use to record your favorite shows, NFL football, and even college basketball. On top of that, a new broadcast standard called ATSC 3.0, or Next Gen TV, is already rolling out across the US. This new standard promises to bring 4K HDR picture resolution, Dolby Atmos audio, and a number of other features. You don't need a special TV antenna for this new standard, but you do need a compatible television or TV tuner. Here's the not so great part about TV antennas. There's a lot of marketing jargon and over-promising in terms of how a TV antenna can perform that, in my opinion, has gone totally unchecked. So you need to be careful about which TV antenna you buy. Here's a primer that will hopefully get you moving in the right direction. Get over to the DTV reception map at the FCC website. I also like using similar free tools at Antennas Direct or antennaweb.org. Just punch in your zip code and you'll be able to see how close you are to broadcast towers. If your local broadcast towers are less than 30 miles away, chances are a decent indoor TV antenna can do the job, but an outdoor TV antenna is always going to perform better. I avoid any manufacturer that claims to have antennas with a range of 100 or 200 miles. After testing antennas for years, I can tell you that receiving a consistently decent signal more than 50 or 60 miles away is really hard to do. Anyone telling you that their TV antenna has a 100 or 200 mile range, in my opinion, just isn't being honest. I review TV antennas throughout the year. You can see my results on my website, cordcuttingreport.com, but honestly, you don't need to listen to me. There's plenty of good resources out there that I encourage you to check out. You should rely on people and organizations that do hands-on testing that show you their actual results, whether it's on YouTube or reputable websites like The Wirecutter. Last step, stop paying so much for internet. Since 2016, I've been paying between $30 to $50 a month, and I refuse to pay more. I've kept my price point in that range even when I lived in areas where there was only one internet service provider. You should be renegotiating your monthly rate or switching providers every couple of years. Here's how I've been renegotiating to keep my monthly bill low. I start every renegotiation by trying to cancel my service. You want to set a date that's a few weeks from whenever you're calling. You should expect to start getting hit with some questions like, why are you canceling? What do you use your internet service for? I never tell my internet service provider that I'm streaming. Why? Because I just want a basic internet connection at the lowest price. Streaming in high definition doesn't require a very fast internet connection. In fact, Netflix recommends in its help section that you only need about 5 megabits per second download speed for high definition picture quality. Just about every streaming service on the market recommends a fairly low speed. Even a live TV service such as Fubo TV recommends 25 megabits per second if you want to stream something in 4K. When you start your phone call by canceling service, you're automatically giving yourself some leverage. Even if you hang up the phone with no deal and a cancellation date, my experience has been that the retention department is soon going to get in touch with you, offering you a better deal. And if you don't hear from anybody, you can always call back in a few days and inquire whether there's a better monthly rate than what you're currently paying. You should never accept the first offer or assume that there isn't a slightly better offer behind what you're being told the first time around. Also, be sure to buy your own modem and Wi-Fi router. That's going to save you from having to pay a monthly rental fee, and you can have more confidence in the performance of your internet connection because you're using your own equipment. Keep in mind, internet service is getting more competitive, and there's a lot more better deals out there than when I first started cutting the cord years ago. Some of the big ISPs across the US are now offering introductory rates that will last at least 12 months. I've been an RCN customer on and off over the years, and usually I pay somewhere between $30 to $50 a month. When I was with Comcast, I was paying between $40 and $50 a month. Verizon Fios now has an entry-level standalone internet package that runs you about $40 a month. And here's a quick tip with that. You can also pick up a refurbished Fios router off of a site like eBay, which can help you get rid of that monthly rental fee that I was talking about. You should also pay attention to up-and-comers like Starry Internet. Starry is a wireless internet service. They're here in Boston, and they've moved into cities in New York in California. Its service costs about $50 per month, and Starry recently announced it plans a rapid expansion aiming to cover 25 million households by 2026. So that wraps up my 5 steps to get you started on cutting the cord. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you'll consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate you watching. If you want to take a deeper dive into learning how to cut the cord from cable, or you're interested in some product reviews, head over to the website cordcuttingreport.com. Oh, and be sure to jump into the comments section and let other people know what streaming services or hardware you're using. I'd really love to know what you're doing, what you're using, and I'll be sure to jump into the comments section as well and get in on the conversation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.